You think your money is your own. You think that when you swipe your card at a grocery store or tap your phone to pay for a coffee, you are simply making a private exchange. You believe that as long as you have a balance in your bank account, you have the freedom to spend it however you see fit. But as we look at the world around us in 2026, I have to tell you that the reality is shifting beneath your feet. The very nature of what a dollar is has changed. We have entered the era of the AI surveillance state, and the digital dollar is the final piece of the cage. If you have been paying attention to the quiet rollouts of FedNow and the increasingly loud conversations about central bank digital currencies, you know that something is wrong. You feel the glitch in the system. They tell you it is for your convenience. They tell you it is about speed and security. But I'm going to show you what is actually happening behind the closed doors of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. I am going to show you how artificial intelligence has been weaponized to turn your bank account into a social credit monitor. This is the truth about the digital dollar trap, why the plumbing for your financial imprisonment is already finished, and how you can still find a way to keep your freedom in a world that wants to track your every breath. Let's start with the plumbing. Over the last 2 years, specifically through 2024 and 2025, the Federal Reserve pushed a system called FedNow. On the surface, it was marketed as a simple upgrade. They told you that in a world of instant messages and instant streaming, it was ridiculous that a bank transfer took 3 days to settle. They were right about the inconvenience, but they weren't telling you the whole story. FedNow wasn't just about speed. It was about creating a centralized, real-time rail for every single dollar in the American economy. Before FedNow, our banking system was fragmented. Thousands of private banks talked to each other through old, slow systems. That friction actually provided a layer of privacy. It was hard for the government to see everything at once. But today, the pipes are connected. FedNow provided the foundation, and the central bank digital currency, or CBDC, is the fluid they're about to pour through those pipes. A CBDC is not just digital money. We already have digital money. Your bank app is digital. Your credit card is digital. The difference is that a CBDC is a direct liability of the central bank. It is state money in its purest form. When you have money in a private bank, that bank owes you the money. When you have a CBDC, you have an account directly with the Fed. This means the government no longer needs a subpoena to see your spending. They don't need to ask a bank for your records. They own the ledger. They are the bank. And in 2026, that ledger is being watched by an eye that never blinks. This is where the AI comes in. This is the part they didn't mention in the brochures. For decades, the government wanted to track everyone's spending, but it was physically impossible. There was too much data. Billions of transactions every day created a noise that no army of bureaucrats could sift through. But AI changed the math. The AI models we have today can process trillions of data points in a second. They don't look for terrorists or money launderers. Those were just the excuses used to build the system. Today, the AI is looking for patterns of behavior. It is looking for risk. It is looking for you. Imagine a world where every time you buy a steak, the AI notes your carbon footprint. Every time you buy a book from an unapproved independent seller, the AI notes your political leaning. Every time you buy ammunition, or even just too much gasoline, the AI flags your volatility score. This isn't a conspiracy theory anymore. It is the logical conclusion of programmable money. In 2026, your dollars are becoming pieces of code. And code can have rules. Code can have if-then statements. If you spend too much red meat this month, then your wellness score drops. If your score drops too low, then the digital dollar app on your phone simply won't allow the next transaction at the butcher shop. You swipe your card and it says declined. Not because you don't have the money, but because you don't have the permission. Think about the nudge. They won't start by banning things. That would cause a revolt. Instead, they will use the AI to optimize your life. They will give you discounts if you buy green products and apply surcharges if you buy things the government deems harmful to society or the environment. This is the gamification of your survival. In 2025, we saw the first pilot programs for personal carbon quotas linked to digital payments. In 2026, these are being integrated into the core of the CBDC framework. The AI calculates your impact on the planet in real time, and it adjusts the value of your dollar accordingly. Your dollar might be worth 100 cents at a vegan cafe, but only 80 cents at a gas station. This is the end of fungibility. A dollar is no longer a dollar. It is a voucher whose value depends on who you are and what you're doing.
The political war over this has been brutal. You remember the 2024 election cycle. You remember the warnings from figures like Donald Trump, who called the CBDC a deadly threat to freedom. He wasn't alone. Governors in states like Florida and Texas passed laws to ban CBDCs within their borders. They saw the iceberg below the water. They understood that if the government can turn off your money, they can turn off your speech, they can turn off your ability to travel, they can turn off your life. But the establishment pushed back. They used the safety narrative. They told you that a digital dollar would prevent another 2008-style banking crisis. They told you it would make stimulus checks instant. They used your own desperation to sell you the handcuffs. And the handcuffs are very shiny. They come with an app that is incredibly easy to use. It's faster than Apple Pay. It's more convenient than any credit card. But that convenience is the bait. Once the majority of the population is onboarded into the digital dollar system, the off-ramps will start to disappear. Have you noticed how many businesses have stopped accepting physical cash? Have you noticed the coin shortages that never seem to end? These are not accidents. They are nudges designed to push you into the digital cage. In 2026, the war on cash is almost over, and the government is winning. But why do they need this level of control now? Because the old economy is dying. The massive debt piles of the last 30 years have become unsustainable. The vampire economy has sucked the middle class dry, and the elite are terrified of what happens when people realize they have been robbed. They need a way to manage the Great Reset without a revolution. They need a way to suppress dissent without using tanks in the streets. If they can control your access to food, heat, and transport through a digital ledger, they don't need tanks. They just need an algorithm. This is why the AI is so critical. The AI can predict who is likely to become a troublemaker before they even know it themselves. It analyzes your social media posts, your location data, and now your spending habits. It sees that you are buying survival gear. It sees that you are withdrawing small amounts of cash. It sees that you are looking at alternative financial news. To the AI, these are pre-crime indicators. It doesn't arrest you, it just throttles you. It makes your life a little more difficult, a little more expensive, until you fall back into line. This is the soft totalitarianism of the 21st century. It doesn't feel like a boot on your face, it feels like a technical glitch in your banking app. But there is a safe haven, there is a way out, and that is why they hate decentralized crypto. Over the last few years, the narrative around Bitcoin, Monero, and DeFi has changed. In 2021, it was about getting rich. In 2026, it is about staying free. The government has done everything in its power to crush the independent crypto market. They used the SEC to sue everyone. They tried to ban self-custody wallets. They launched their own safe digital dollar to compete. But they couldn't kill the math. Bitcoin is the antithesis of the CBDC. The CBDC is centralized. Bitcoin is decentralized. The CBDC is programmable by the state. Bitcoin is programmable by the user. The CBDC has infinite supply. Bitcoin has a hard cap of 21 million. But most importantly, Bitcoin is permissionless. No AI can tell the Bitcoin network that you aren't allowed to send your money. No government can expire your Bitcoin because you didn't spend it fast enough. Bitcoin is hard money for a digital age. And then there is Monero. If Bitcoin is the gold of the resistance, Monero is the cash. In 2026, Monero has become the primary target of the AI surveillance state. Why? Because it is private by default. The AI can see a Bitcoin transaction on the public ledger, but it hits a brick wall when it looks at Monero. It can't see who sent it, who received it, or how much was moved.
This is why the government has worked so hard to delist Monero from every major exchange. They want to make it illegal to have financial privacy. They want you to believe that if you want privacy, you must be a criminal. But you know that is a lie. Privacy is not about having something to hide. It is about having something to protect. Privacy is the foundation of a free society. If the government knows everything you buy, they know everything you think. If they know everything you think, they can control everything you do.
The DeFi movement has also evolved. In 2025, we saw the rise of privacy-preserving L2s and decentralized on-ramps. These are the tunnels under the digital cage. They allow you to move your wealth out of the digital dollar system and into assets that the state cannot freeze. This is the real shadow economy. It isn't an economy of drug dealers and hackers. It is an economy of doctors, teachers, and small business owners who just want to own their own lives. As we look at the financial forecast for the rest of 2026, the tension is reaching a breaking point. The Fed is preparing for the mandatory transition phase. They're talking about direct-to-consumer Fed accounts. They're offering sign-up bonuses for the digital dollar app, maybe a $1,000 universal basic income credit if you agree to let the AI optimize your spending. It looks like free money. It looks like a lifeline in a struggling economy, but it is the ultimate wealth trap. Once you accept that free money, you are agreeing to the terms of service, and the terms of service say that you no longer have the right to financial anonymity. You have to decide which side of the digital divide you want to be on. On one side, you have the digital dollar. It is convenient, it is fast, and it comes with a government guarantee. But it also comes with a social credit monitor and an AI that tracks your carbon footprint and your political loyalty. It is a world where your money can be turned off with a single line of code. On the other side, you have the sovereign rails, Bitcoin, Monero, and self-custody. It is harder to use, it is more volatile, it requires you to take responsibility for your own security, but it is permissionless, it is unfreezable, it is yours. The smart friend advice for 2026 is simple. Diversify your financial identity. Don't keep all your wealth in the legacy system. Start learning how to use decentralized tools today while they're still legal. Build your exit ramp before the banking wall gets any higher. The government wants you to think that the digital dollar is inevitable. They want you to feel helpless in the face of the AI surveillance state. But they wouldn't be fighting so hard if they weren't afraid. They are afraid of the 21 million. They are afraid of the private ledger. They are afraid of you becoming your own bank. The iceberg of the CBDC is mostly underwater. What you see on the surface is a convenient payment app. What is underwater is a total surveillance and control system that would make George Orwell blush. Don't look at the app, look at the architecture. Look at the programmability. Look at the AI integration. We are living through the greatest wealth transfer in history, but it isn't just a transfer of money, it is a transfer of agency. The elite are trying to trade your freedom for their stability. They are trying to use AI to build a world where risk, which is another word for freedom, is eliminated. But a world without risk is a world without life. It is a world where you are just a user on someone else's platform. Take back your agency. Protect your privacy. The digital dollar is a trap, but you don't have to walk into it. The door to the sovereign economy is still open. This is the hidden reality of 2026. While the news talks about the economic recovery, the real story is the financial enslavement of the population. But knowledge is the first step to resistance. Now that you see the trap, you can't unsee it. The AI state is watching your wallet. It's time to move your wallet where they can't see it. Let's talk about the carbon footprint logic specifically, because this is the cleverest part of the trap. In 2026, saving the planet is the ultimate justification for every grab for power. They have spent years convincing you that your personal consumption is the problem. They want you to feel guilty for eating meat, for driving a car, for heating your home. The digital dollar is sold as the green currency. They say that by tracking every transaction, the government can help you make better choices.
But who defines a better choice? If the government decides that national security requires you to stop buying a certain product, they can just update the AI's consumer safety parameters. This is nudging on steroids. It is the end of the market economy and the beginning of the command economy. In a market economy, the consumer is king. In a command economy, the state is the manager, and you are the employee. And don't think for a second that the elite will follow the same rules. The private jets will still fly. The steak dinners at Davos will still happen. The carbon quotas are for you, not for them. Their digital dollars will have executive privileges. They will have exemptions for official business. The trap is only for the unstructured class, the people who rely on a salary and a traditional bank account. This is why the 21 million cap on Bitcoin is so revolutionary. It is a neutral rule. It applies to the billionaire and the waiter exactly the same way. The protocol doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care about your social credit score. It is the first truly democratic financial system in history, and that is why the anti-democratic elite hate it so much. In 2026, the battle for the digital dollar is really a battle for the human soul. Are you an individual with the right to privacy and self-determination, or are you a human resource to be managed by an AI for the greater good? The AI surveillance state is not a distant threat. It is here. It is in the terms and conditions you just clicked accept on. It is in the instant payment notification you just received. It is in the very code of the money in your pocket. But remember, code is just math, and math can be used to build walls, but it can also be used to build ladders. The ladders are the decentralized protocols. The ladders are the peer-to-peer networks. The ladders are the encryption tools that allow you to speak and trade in secret. The government will call these things dangerous. They will call them tools for criminals. They will try to make you feel ashamed for wanting to be free. Don't let them. There is nothing dangerous about wanting to own your own labor. There is nothing criminal about wanting to buy a gift for your child without a government AI recording the transaction. The digital dollar trap is built on fear. Fear of financial stability, fear of climate change, fear of terrorism. But the only thing we should truly fear is the loss of our financial sovereignty. Without the power of the purse, you have no power at all. So, look at the news through a new lens. When you hear about financial inclusion, think surveillance. When you hear about programmable payments, think control. When you hear about AI economic optimization, think the social credit system. The world of 2026 is a hall of mirrors, but the truth is simple. If you don't control your money will be used to control you. The AI is ready. The FedNow pipes are laid. The digital dollar is waiting. The only thing standing in their way is a few million people who refuse to be optimized. Be one of them. Hold your own keys. Run your own node. Use your own hard money. The cage is closing, but the exit is still right there. It's time to choose. Do you want the convenience of the cage or the challenge of the sovereign rails? I know which one I'm choosing. I'm staying with the 21 million. I'm staying with the private ledger. I'm staying with the freedom to be inefficient, unoptimized, and free. The AI can watch the digital dollar, but it won't be able to find me in the decentralized forest. Join me. This is the Smart Friend Truth for 2026. The vampire of the state is hungry for your data. Don't give them the blood of your financial life. Stay anonymous, stay sovereign, stay human. The digital dollar trap is real, but so is your power to walk away. I'll see you on the other side of the banking wall. The future is decentralized, or it is not a future worth living in. Let's make sure it's the first one.
As the mandatory onboarding draws closer, you will see the pressure increase. You will see cash be demonized as dirty and insecure. You will see crypto be blamed for every economic hiccup. This is the psychological operation designed to make you surrender. They will use celebrities to tell you how cool the new digital dollar app is. They will give you rewards for linking your identity to your wallet. It will feel like a video game. But this is a game you can't level up in. You can only settle down in it. The game of the digital dollar is designed to keep you in a state of permanent rent.
You will rent your house because mortgage rates are AI adjusted. You will rent your car because you can't buy gas without a climate permit. And you will effectively rent your own money from the Fed. This is neo-feudalism, and the AI is the lord of the manor. Don't be a serf. Own your hard assets. Own your private money. The struggle of 2026 is not about left versus right. It is about centralized versus decentralized. It is about the state versus the individual. The digital dollar trap is the ultimate weapon of the centralized state, but, like all weapons, it only works if you are in its sights. Move, diversify, encrypt. The sovereign individual is not a myth. It is the only thing that can stop the AI surveillance state. The code for the cage is written, but the code for the key is also written. Which one will you use? The Federal Reserve is betting that you are too tired, too busy, and too convenience-oriented to notice the trap. They are betting that you will trade your children's freedom for $1,000 stimulus in your digital dollar app. Don't prove them right. The price of liberty has always been eternal vigilance. In 2026, the price of liberty is digital vigilance. It's about understanding the metadata. It's about knowing how the validators work. It's about being smarter than the smart money. The AI is just a tool. In the hands of the state, it is a cage. In the hands of the individual, it can be a shield. Use your own local AI to protect your privacy. Use your own open-source tools to verify your transactions. The great rotation from fiat to sovereign assets is the most important trade of your life. Don't wait for the bank holiday. Don't wait for the emergency decree. The iceberg is already here. Position your ship accordingly. The digital dollar is a trap, but only for those who are standing still. Keep moving, keep learning, keep trading in the shadows of freedom. The sun is setting on the era of private financial life, but in the darkness, the stars of the decentralized world are shining brighter than ever. Follow the light of the 21 million. Follow the path of the private ledger. The AI surveillance state may be powerful, but it is not God. It cannot break the laws of physics. It cannot break the laws of math. And as long as you have math on your side, you have freedom. This is the Smart Friend sign-off for 2026. The trap is set, the bait is out. Don't take the bite. Stay free, stay sharp, stay anonymous. I'll see you in the decentralized forest. The cage is open for now. Walk out while you still can. The digital dollar is coming, but so is the great financial awakening. Which side are you on? The iceberg is moving, the vampire is thirsty, but you are the one with the silver bullet of cryptography. Use it.